Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Class 8 English Unit 3 Travel in Space. In this class, we will do reading comprehension exercise C on page number 50 in English box. In this exercise, you have to select the most suitable meaning for the following phrases. These phrases have been taken from the unit, and for each phrase, 3 meanings are given, and you have to select the best and the most suitable, the most correct meaning according to the chapter. For example, number 1, penny for your thoughts. This phrase was in the chapter when a student asked Miss Sana for, or when the student asked Miss Sana about what. So, what does it mean? Does it mean too much money for your head? Because penny means a coin. So, if we think about its literal meaning, that coins and money will come in our mind. But sometimes the meanings are not literal, they are figurative, and they are not actually what they look like. So, too much money for the head. In this chapter, there was nothing being talked about money. So, obviously, the first one is incorrect. Then, you are very important. Again, nothing about the importance of Miss Sana or anyone was talked about. So, again, the second one is also incorrect. And I want to know what you are thinking. This is the most suitable answer because a student asked Miss Sana about her thoughts, that what she was thinking, because she was so busy and she was so engaged in her daydreaming that she could not hear what was the sounds around her, and whatever was happening around her she couldn't just see because she was so engaged in her thoughts. Number 2, clinched the spot. So, clinch the spot, this phrase was used for Miss Sana when she saved the seat of the teacher or the educator to be on the space. So the most suitable meaning is to made her a suitable candidate. Yes, she was a suitable candidate, but there are some more appropriate or some more suitable answer, out of which you have to select the best one. Number 2 is stole the title, and number 3 is a strain on her face. So stole the title is the most suitable one because she has confirmed her seat. Suitable candidate, we are not sure whether she is going to be selected or not, but when we say she stole the title means we are sure that she has been selected. So clinch the spot exactly means that she must be a suitable candidate, but it's not necessary that she was selected because there can be some more suitable candidates as well. But the second one, that she stole the title, she got the title, she confirmed it for herself, she saved it for herself. This gives a surety that she was selected completely. Number 3 is buzzing with activity. So, buzzing with activity, does it mean too much work? Does it mean everyone was extremely busy? Or does it mean that there were many bees around? So, again, if they're talking about buzzing, that does not mean that they're talking about bees, because buzzing is the movement, the sound when bees are moving and doing something. So, but again, we are not talking about the literal meaning because this chapter was not at all about the bees. This was something about the space. So, the third one is not the right answer, but the first one and the second one, they are closely related. For example, the first one is also about too much work, and the second one is also about being busy. But the most suitable one is the first one because it means to have a lot of work to do. It does not mean the work that everyone else has to do. It's about one person's work that they have to do. So buzzing with activity means too much work. For example, if you have a lot of things to do, you can say I am buzzing with activities today. I'm totally busy. Next one is retrace her steps. Retrace her steps means make marks with her feet, rethink her decision, or wear her shoes. What does it mean? See, when we say retrace, it means to do something again or to trace again. So, does it mean to really trace her step? For example, if she was moving, so will she go back and will she again come just to retrace her step? No, we are not talking about the literal meaning. We are talking about the figurative meaning. Here, retrace means to rethink her decision, that the decision of being the educator in the space when she was overwhelmed by fear, when she was a little nervous. So she was thinking again about her decision to be the educator, to be the teacher on the space. So this particular action can be explained with the help of this phrase, that she was retracing her steps. She was thinking again about her decision. Then the next one is speaker crackled. By the phrase speaker crackled, do we mean that the voice came out from the speaker? Do we mean that the speaker broke into two? Or do we mean a speech was made? See, when a speech is made, we cannot always use this phrase, because sometimes speech is not necessary to be made by the speaker or by the speaker that we're talking about in the text that was attached to the shuttle. So the second one, again, the speaker broke into, although cracked means when something is broken into two parts or more than two parts, but here we're not talking about its literal meaning. So the second one and the third one are not the most suitable. The first one is the most suitable one, because in this chapter the speaker crackled, this phrase was used when the voice came out from the speaker. Number 6, headed into space. So head is a part of our body, but we are not talking about that part exactly or literally. We're just moving into the space. So for that movement, we are using the word headed. For example, I headed to school, I headed to the market, I headed to the park. So I don't mean, or I'm not talking about my head, I'm talking about my movement, or I'm talking about going to a particular place. So when I say headed into space, I mean was given room to move, the head came out, or went into space. Yes, as I said, it's about going somewhere. So went into space is the most suitable one. Then was in good hands. Was in good hands. Now good hands don't mean neat hands or washed ones or clean ones or the most beautiful ones. In this chapter, it means that to be in the company of good people, or to be in the company of the people who are expert. So B is the correct answer. Now the next exercise is exercise D, page number 50. In this exercise, you have to read the text first and then you have to explain the following phrases and words by filling in the table. As you can see, here are some phrases, and for each phrase you have to write what and why. Means you have to write either the name of that thing, or you have to write what that thing is, and then you have to write why did this thing happen, and what is the reason for this thing, what is the result of this thing. For example, the first one is unique opportunity. So what is unique opportunity according to this chapter? The chance to go into the space is a unique opportunity. It is a unique chance. And why is it unique? Why is it so special to Miss Sana? Because it was Miss Sana's childhood dream. Just like that, plastic models filled. So why were the plastic models filled with liquid? Firstly, they have asked what. They were filled with what? So they were filled with liquid. And secondly, why? Because to study the effects of weightlessness on fluids, on liquids. Then C is the ultimate field trip. So what is the ultimate field trip? The ultimate field trip is a lesson from the space that Miss Sana was about to give. And why is the reason that we're talking about this lesson? Because Miss Sana is going to directly deliver a lesson to the children of the school. Then simulator. Simulator, what is a simulator? It is the equipment for practice. And why do we use this equipment? We use this equipment for the crew to practice their duties before they are launched into the space. Then noise is deafening. So what noise is deafening? Which noise is the most deafening or the loudest in the unit? The sound that the spaceship made as it prepared to blast off. So the sound of the spaceship before its launch was deafening, it was too loud, it was too noisy. But why? Because the engines ignite, they start to burn. So the sound of the engines igniting, that is why the sound is very deafening, very loud, very noisy. Then we have lift off. What does it mean we have lift off? We have lift off means the spaceship leaves the ground. For example, when we are going to a higher place or a place which is at some height, so we can use this that we have lift off or we have come on a height. So why did this statement why was this statement mentioned in the unit? Because this statement marks the beginning of the journey into the space. Then D-Day. D-Day, what is D-Day? The launch of Khalid bin Walid is known as D-Day. Khalid bin Walid space station particularly, it is known as D-Day. And why? Why did this day was why was this particular event happening, and why was this day named as the D-Day? Because the OIC, the Organization of Islamic Conference, it had decided to launch their own communication satellite, their own spaceship, their own space shuttle into the space, and that is why they had to begin their journey. Then the next one is deep trance. So by deep trance we means the thoughts of Miss Sana that were so engaging and that were so indulging that she was not aware of whatever was happening around her. But why was she so in the deep trance? Why was she so engaged in her thoughts? Because she had been daydreaming of being the first educator in space. She was thinking about the fact that she was going to be the first teacher to go to the space. So that is why she was so busy in her thoughts, which we can say deep trance. Then the next one is pin drop silence. So, pin drop silence, all the children were absolutely quiet in the class. So, for their quietness, for the reason that they were quiet, we are using this phrase pin drop silence. But why were they quiet? They were quiet because they wanted to listen to the answer to their questions from Miss Sana, because they had asked hundreds of questions to Miss Sana. So she was about to answer them. So to hear the answer, to listen to the answer, they were making sure that there is no noise so that they can listen to their teacher carefully. Then the next one is retrace her steps. As I mentioned before, it means to think again. So, what is the meaning of this phrase? It means that Miss Sana did not want to enter Khalid bin Walid station. She did not want to enter because she was nervous, not because she was not liking it. Although she was liking it, it was her childhood dream. She wanted to go into the space, but she was nervous. And why was she nervous? Because she was overwhelmed by the fear of becoming an astronaut. Because she was scared that how can she become an astronaut so quickly and so swiftly. Then the next one is visual feast. Visual means something which is not live, and feast means the food that we eat. So visual feast means something which is a pleasing sight, or something which acts as a pleasure to our eyes. So for example, visual feast basically means the sight of the launch of the spacecraft. Means when it was leaving for the space, that sight was like a visual feast. It was a pleasure to the eyes, because not so many people can witness such an event. And the reason why it was a visual feast, because it was an exciting experience for the children. The last one is arms would come out of their sockets. Means the children were Waving their arms vigorously means they were waving their hands strongly and powerfully to their teacher to say a goodbye. That is why it is said that they were waving their hands so strongly and so powerfully that it seemed that their hands are going to come out of their socket. They're going to come out of their actual place. Why? Why were they doing this? Why were they waving so vigorously, so strongly, so powerfully? Because they were excited to see Miss Sana going into the space. Now, your homework is to do exercise C, page number 50 in your book, and exercise D, page number 50 and 51 in your English literature notebook. See you in the next class. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.